And my mom greeted us at the car with hugs and walked us around to the front steps. But instead of walking up the steps, she dropped to all fours and she crawled under the porch. And then she invited us into her home. So my brother and I dropped to all fours and we crawled under the porch behind her. And we spent an afternoon in our mom's home. And she had unzipped a sleeping bag to cover the ground so that her kids were not sitting on dirt. I actually brought a photo of her with me to the floor today. Senate Bill 608 is personal for me, and I'm here to ask you to vote yes. Because families all across our state, families just like mine, are living in a housing emergency. And yes, we have to deal with these systemic issues, increasing supply, reforming our zoning laws, making major investments in renter assistance, affordable housing. But those are long-term solutions that won't have impact on families for years. Senate Bill 608 will have an impact immediately for hundreds of thousands of Oregonians who rent their homes, but are one rent spike or no-cause eviction away from putting their kids to bed in the back seat of a car or pitching a tent on the side of the interstate or making a home under somebody's porch. What might be absent from our debate today is that for many renters, for many families, Senate Bill 608 doesn't do enough, or it doesn't come soon enough. And those voices are important too, and I want to lift those up. Street Roots, in its editorial on Senate Bill 608, said, quote, "Senate Bill 608 is truly the least we can do. So legislators should pass it so we have a better benchmark, and then we expect them to keep fighting." And I agree. But Oregon leads the nation in the percentage of homeless kids, citing rent spikes and no-cause evictions as the number 1 and 2 causes of that homelessness for our kids. We also know that vulnerable people, from the fear of a no-cause eviction, are less likely to call the police on a domestic abuser. We know that vulnerable seniors, people with disabilities, immigrants, single moms are less likely to request minor repairs or major repairs because they don't even want to be noticed by their landlords for fear of rent spiking or no-cause evictions. So Senate Bill 608 makes 3 basic changes to the Oregon landlord-tenant law. Number 1, Senate Bill 608 bans no-cause evictions after the first year of tenancy. It's not too much to ask that if somebody's going to be displaced from their home, pulled out of their community, kids ripped out of school halfway through the school year, they have a right to know why. That would have been nice for Anna Blackman, who testified in the hearing that she was no-cause evicted 3 times in 5 years. Senate Bill 608 also gives predictability during a tenancy by limiting rent increases to 1 per year and capping them at 7% plus CPI, so around 9 to 10% depending on inflation. This will put an end to the rent gouging, the 20 to 113% rent increases we heard about in committee. Rent increases so big and so sudden, they left Tina Cummings from her comfortable home to sharing a single motel room with 7 other people. And third, Senate Bill 608 creates 4 narrow landlord reasons for ending a tenancy.